All right, so everyone get ready for this because we're diving deep today into college football and the upcoming NFL draft. We've got viewers asking for the inside scoop on all the top prospects who will be playing in the national championship game.
Notre Dame versus Ohio State.
Exactly. Luckily, we've got a pretty awesome scouting report from FOX Sports that's going to give us all those details we need.
Oh yeah, this game is absolutely loaded with NFL caliber talent, and this report highlights just how much is there.
It really is incredible. And here's something I think is really cool. The article ranks the top 10 draft prospects that are going to be playing in this game. And it even hints at some seriously talented players who aren't even eligible for the draft yet.
Oh wow.
I don't know about you, but I always get so excited to see those future stars emerge.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think we're in for a treat with this game.
Absolutely.
We are so lucky to have our draft guru here with us to help us break all this down.
Well, I'm excited to dig in. It's such a fascinating matchup this year. We've got two powerhouse programs and just a ton of draft prospects, especially in the Ohio State side.
Right.
Which really goes to show you just how dominant they've been in college football lately.
Exactly. And to make things even more interesting, the report mentions that two of the top prospects, Josh Simmons, who is Ohio State's left tackle,
Right.
and Notre Dame's cornerback, Benjamin Morrison, are both injured and won't be playing in the game.
Yeah. It's a shame they won't be on the field. They're both considered to be top 20 candidates in this draft.
Wow.
So it definitely changes the dynamic of the game for sure.
It really does. And while their absence creates opportunities for other players to kind of step up and shine, I'm sure some scouts are pretty disappointed not to be able to see these guys in action.
For sure.
Okay, so let's jump into this top 10 list. Coming in at number 10 is Jordan Clark, a cornerback for Notre Dame.
Okay.
The report says that even though his teammates Morrison and Xavier Watts might be getting more attention, he's still a player to watch. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so picture this. You've got a cornerback who is always around the ball.
Okay.
Disrupting plays, just making life so difficult for those receivers. That's Jordan Clark.
Oh, okay.
He's a scrappy player. Incredible instincts.
Sounds like a real competitor.
He is. However, he's 5'11" and 181 pounds, so he doesn't have that typical size you'd usually look for in an NFL cornerback.
So could that hurt his draft stock, do you think?
It might, but his speed and just like I said, his tenacity,
Yeah.
that could make him a valuable asset to a team willing to take a chance on him.
Right.
In fact, the report even compares him to Avonte Maddox,
Oh, wow.
who was a former Shrine Bowl standout,
Okay.
and he was actually drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles in the 4th round
Okay.
and has built a really successful career.
Wow, that's a great comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, Maddox proves that size isn't everything.
Exactly.
Speaking of Shrine Bowl standouts, our number 9 prospect, Xavier Watts, another Notre Dame defensive back, will also be playing in that game.
Oh yeah, Watts is an absolute ball hawk. 7 interceptions this season. He's a playmaker with a nose for the ball.
Yeah, and some of those interceptions, they seem almost miraculous, according to this article.
Right.
Is he as good as those numbers suggest?
Well, he's got a real knack for being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
He's a very aggressive player, which can sometimes lead to, missed tackles.
Oh, right.
But his ability to create those turnovers is undeniable.
Right.
The report actually compares him to Cameron Kinchins,
Okay.
who had a fantastic rookie season with the LA Rams after being drafted in the 3rd round.
Wow. So we've got 2 potential steals in the secondary here
Yeah,
for NFL teams to keep their eye on.
for sure.
Next up at number 8, we have Trevayon Henderson, a running back for Ohio State.
Okay.
The report calls him a sledgehammer on skates.
Oh, wow.
What a visual.
I know, right? It's the perfect description of his running style. He's powerful, breaks tackles, and it has that burst of speed to just outrun defenders.
Sounds like he's a complete back.
He's got the potential, but the report does suggest that he might not be viewed as a top running back prospect by some.
Really?
Yeah, they point to his strong offensive line at Ohio State as a potential factor in his success.
So maybe he's benefited from playing behind such a dominant line?
It's definitely something to consider, but he's still a talented runner.
Right.
I think he's worthy of a day 2 pick.
Okay.
The report even compares him to Kyron Williams,
Right.
another Notre Dame running back who was drafted in the 5th round by the Rams and has really exceeded expectations.
So he could be another steal for a team that's patient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of depth at the running back position this year, so
Yeah.
Henderson might slip in the draft, but he has the potential to be a very productive player in the NFL.
For sure. Up next at number 7 is Donovan Jackson, an offensive lineman for Ohio State,
Okay.
who has experience playing both guard and tackle.
Oh, wow.
He stepped up to fill in for the injured Josh Simmons at left tackle
Right.
and has really impressed scouts.
Yeah, his versatility is what makes him so valuable. He could easily play either guard or tackle at the NFL level.
That kind of flexibility is gold for an NFL team.
Exactly. He's 6'4", 320 pounds.
Wow.
Got the power and the size, which might make him a better fit at guard in the pros, but his recent play at tackle has been really impressive, and he seems to have the arm length to succeed there as well.
Okay.
The report compares him to Titus Howard,
Okay.
who's found a home at left guard for the Houston Texans.
Oh, cool. So where do you see him landing in the draft?
You know, his versatility and potential could land him in the top 75 picks. I think teams are always looking for offensive linemen who can play multiple positions.
No doubt about that. Now, moving on to number 6, we have Denzel Burke, a cornerback for Ohio State.
Okay.
He's a 3-year starter for the Buckeyes and has 28 passes defended during that time.
Oh, wow.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's battle-tested for sure and has that prototypical size and build for an NFL cornerback at 6'1", 193 pounds.
Sounds like he's got the physical tools. What about his skills?
He's a springy athlete, good instincts, physicality.
Okay.
However, he can sometimes get caught peeking into the backfield,
Oh.
which can be a liability in coverage.
Right, so there's room for improvement, but the potential is there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
He's projected to be an early round pick. The report compares him to Cam Taylor-Britt, a third-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals, who's become a solid starter in the NFL.
Okay, that's encouraging. Seems like he could be a steal for a team that believes in his potential.
Absolutely. You know, his experience playing against top competition in college will serve him well at the next level.
For sure. Okay, let's move on to number 5 on the list. Quinshon Judkins, Ohio State's other talented running back.
Okay.
The report suggests that he might actually be the best athlete out of all the running backs in this entire draft class.
Oh, wow. That's incredibly high praise.
Yeah.
And you can see why when you watch him play.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this impressive combination of size, power, and speed.
Yeah, he's described as a classic slasher, weaving through traffic and breaking away for big gains. Does he have the potential to be a 3-down back in the NFL?
He does.
Yeah.
Like Henderson, he's a reliable receiver out of the backfield, which is a valuable asset for running backs in today's NFL.
Right.
The report actually compares him to Joe Mixon,
Wow.
who was a second-round pick by the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's become one of the top running backs in the league.
That's a great comparison. Mixon is such a dynamic player,
He is.
and if Judkins can develop into that kind of runner, he'll be a star.
He's all the tools.
Yeah,
He's definitely a player you'll want to keep your eye on.
for sure. And at number 4, we have Jack Sawyer, a defensive end for Ohio State.
All right.
This is where things start to get really interesting.
Yeah, Sawyer's been dominant in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Almost single-handedly winning games for Ohio State.
Wow.
He's racking up sacks and even returned a fumble for a touchdown.
Sounds like he's peaking at the right time.
He is. He's always had the physical tools to be a top draft pick,
Okay.
but his improved timing off the snap and his refined hand technique
Oh, wow.
have really taken his game to another level.
Those are the kinds of things that NFL scouts love to see.
Absolutely. They want to see that a player is coachable and can continue to develop. The report compares him to George Karlaftis,
Okay.
who was drafted in the first round by the Kansas City Chiefs and has shown flashes of brilliance in his rookie season.
So he's got the potential to be a game changer at the next level.
He does. His athleticism, instincts, and that relentless motor
Yeah.
make him a nightmare for opposing offenses, and he could be a dominant force in the NFL.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Think about the way NFL offenses have trended toward quicker passing plays.
Right.
Someone like Sawyer, who can disrupt the quarterback's timing, is incredibly valuable.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's move on to the number 3 prospect, Tyleik Williams, a defensive tackle for Ohio State. The report describes him as a throwback player
Yeah.
who overwhelms opponents with his size, power, and surprising quickness.
Oh, he's a force to be reckoned with in the trenches, that's for sure. At 6'3" and 327 pounds.
Wow.
He's a classic run stuffer who can just anchor a defensive line.
Sounds like he's built for the NFL.
He is. But he's not as much of a pass rushing threat.
Yeah.
He only had 5.5 sacks in his last 25 games.
So there's room for improvement in that area.
There is. However, his ability to control the line of scrimmage
Right.
and disrupt plays in the backfield
Yeah.
is invaluable.
Yeah.
The report compares him to Ali McNeil,
Okay.
a very talented defensive tackle for the Detroit Lions, who was surprisingly drafted in the 3rd round.
So they see him as a potential first-round pick.
I think NFL teams have learned their lesson from McNeil.
Okay.
Williams's size, strength, and run-stopping ability are highly coveted in the NFL.
Yeah.
And he has the potential to be a Pro Bowl caliber player.
All right, so we're down to the top 2 prospects on this list.
Okay.
And at number 2, we have Emeka Egbuka, a wide receiver for Ohio State.
Right.
You mentioned earlier that Ohio State has a reputation for producing some elite wide receivers.
Right.
And Egbuka seems to be the next in line.
Yeah. Ohio State's wide receiver factory is churning out NFL talent like clockwork.
It really is.
Egbuka's the latest model.
Wow.
And you're going to want to see him in action. He's lauded for his exceptional route running.
Okay.
He's consistently creating separation from defenders with his precise movements and deceptive fakes.
So it sounds like he's already polished and ready for the NFL?
The report praises his smooth style and pro readiness, highlighting his reliability as a pass catcher and his ability to get upfield quickly after the catch.
Wow.
They compare him to Amon-Ra St. Brown,
Okay.
a 4th-round steal by the Detroit Lions,
Wow.
who's become one of the most productive young receivers in the league.
Another great comparison. Paik Brown has been a revelation for the Lions.
He has, and Egbuka has that same potential to be a star.
Wow. That brings us to the top prospect in this game.
Right.
JT Tuimoloau, a defensive end for Ohio State.
Oh,
What makes him stand out?
Tuimoloau is the complete package.
Yeah.
At 6'5" and 279 pounds, he's got the ideal size and strength for an NFL defensive end.
Yeah.
The report raves about his power,
Yeah.
particularly his bull rush, which is one of the most feared moves in his arsenal.
So he sounds unstoppable.
He is. He's a force to be reckoned with. While there might be other edge rushers in this class with more flash and finesse,
Yeah.
Tuimoloau's NFL readiness and ability to make an immediate impact set him apart.
So he's not just potential. He's ready to contribute right away.
Exactly. The report compares him to Cameron Jordan,
Okay.
a perennial Pro Bowler for the New Orleans Saints, who's known for his consistency, durability, and ability to both rush the passer and defend the run.
Wow, that's high praise. Jordan is one of the best in the league.
He is, and Tuimoloau has the potential to reach that level.
So there you have it. The top 10 draft prospects playing in the national championship game according to FO Exports.
It's an incredibly talented group of players, and this game is a must-watch for any NFL fan who wants a glimpse into the future of the league.
You're not going to want to miss this game. It's a chance to see the future of the NFL unfold right before your eyes. But wait, there's more. The report also mentions some intriguing details about the running back depth on both teams and the dominance of Ohio State's defensive line, which we'll delve into next.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This game is loaded with talent.
Yeah.
You mentioned the running back depth,
Right.
and that's something that really stands out to me in this report.
Yeah.
Both Ohio State and Notre Dame have future stars in their backfields.
It's going to be a battle of the running backs. You know,
Right.
we already talked about Ohio State's Tre'Von Henderson and Quinshon Judkins,
Right.
who are both projected to be high draft picks.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame has a rising star of their own in sophomore Jeremiah Love. He's not eligible for this draft yet, but the article calls him out specifically,
Interesting.
which means that NFL scouts are already taking notice.
Wow.
I'm really excited to see how he stacks up against Ohio State's dynamic duo.
Yeah, that's a great matchup to watch. We've got Henderson, the powerful bruising runner, and Judkins, the slasher, with exceptional speed and agility.
Right.
You know, Love might be a blend of both, but we'll have to wait and see how he develops.
Yeah.
What's exciting is that this running back class as a whole is shaping up to be incredibly deep.
So the 2026 draft is going to be loaded with talent at the running back position.
Oh, yeah.
Got to mark your calendars for that one. But let's get back to this year's draft
Okay.
and the upcoming game. The report also highlights Ohio State's defensive line as a major force to be reckoned with. They actually have 3 potential first-round picks on the line.
Wow.
Sawyer, Williams, and Tuimoloau.
That's a scary thought for any offense. And it really speaks to Ohio State's dominance. You know, having 3 players of that caliber on the same defensive line is rare.
I mean, with 3 potential first-rounders on the D-line, can Notre Dame even hope to move the ball?
It'll be fascinating to watch.
Yeah.
You know, Notre Dame's offense is no slouch.
Yeah.
But they'll have their hands full trying to contain those 3.
Yeah, for sure.
This could be a preview of future NFL defensive battles.
It's like getting a sneak peek into the future of the NFL. And speaking of future NFL stars, we can't forget about Ohio State's incredible wide receiver pipeline.
Right.
We talked about Erimeko Egbuka earlier,
Yeah.
and he seems poised to be the next great Buckeye receiver to make a splash in the NFL.
Ohio State has a history of producing elite wide receivers.
I do.
And Egbuka is next in line. You know, guys like Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Jackson Smith, and Jigba have all gone on to have success in the NFL.
Right.
Egbuka has the potential to be just as good, if not better.
So how does he compare to those past OSU greats? Does he have that same star power?
He has the talent and the pedigree.
Okay.
He's already showing the route running skills and reliable hands that Ohio State receivers are known for.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how his game translates to the NFL, but he's definitely a player to watch.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild that he's not even the most highly touted receiver on his own team.
You're talking about Jeremiah Smith, right?
That's exactly.
The freshman phenom
Yeah.
who's already drawing comparisons to some of the all-time greats. I mean, he's not eligible for the draft yet, but you got to be impressed by the amount of talent Ohio State has at one position.
It's insane.
I'm already looking forward to the 2026 draft. But first, we've got a national championship game to focus on.
Right.
And this one sounds like it's going to be epic.
Absolutely. This game is loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. It's going to be a battle.
Okay, so to recap, this national championship game is absolutely stacked with future NFL stars. It's like a sneak peek into the next generation of talent that'll be dominating the league in a few years.
It's truly remarkable.
Yeah.
You know, we've got potential first-round picks on both sides of the ball, future stars at running back and wide receiver, and that Ohio State defensive line.
Right.
I mean, they could really wreak havoc in the NFL.
You're telling me. I'm already glued to my seat. But before we let you go, I have to ask you our thought-provoking question.
Okay.
We always get from our expert. Which player not on this top 10 list, perhaps one who isn't even draft eligible yet, could become a surprise breakout star in the NFL?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Yeah. You know, it's always fun to think about those under-the-radar players who might exceed everyone's expectations.
Yeah.
And we talked about Notre Dame's Jeremiah Love, and he definitely fits that description. But there are always a few hidden gems who emerge during the draft process. They surprise everyone and make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
It's part of what makes the draft so unpredictable and exciting.
I totally agree. There's always someone who comes out of nowhere and becomes a star. It's one of the things I love most about the NFL draft. So we've reached the end of our deep dive into the top NFL prospects playing in this national championship game.
Yeah.
We covered the strengths and weaknesses of those top 10 players. We highlighted some potential steals for those NFL teams and even looked ahead to those future draft classes.
And, you know, we explored how these players could impact the game itself, the dominance of that Ohio State defensive line and, you know, the legacy of their wide receiver pipeline.
For sure. It's safe to say that I'm even more excited for this game now.
Me too.
We've got future NFL stars on both sides of the ball, and I can't wait to see them go head-to-head on the biggest stage in college football.
It's going to be a fantastic game, and I encourage you to watch it with a new appreciation for the talent on the field.
Oh, yeah.
Pay attention to the little things, the individual matchups, the potential that's unfolding right before your eyes.
Right.
You might just be watching the beginning of some legendary NFL careers.
And who knows, maybe we'll even spot that future breakout star who wasn't on anyone's radar. That's the beauty of football. Anything can happen.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive and enjoy the game.